Both have very excellent times in this game. Chalmers actually just PB'd really recently on Thursday, clocking in with a 1:26:35, and caznode over here actually PB'd about 5 days ago, has a 1:24:50. So two excellent runners of this game. Should be a really good match. So sit back, relax, and enjoy some Z3 speedruns.
Yeah, both of these guys have been kind of leveling up during this tournament. Kaz, I think, was the newest member of the 124 club until Andy got his recently. So should be a really good one. Chalmers sitting at the 26:35. They're like a minute and a half apart, but even like the high 124 players versus like the low 124 versus 123, there's honestly like an ocean of consistency that happens between those two. So this can be a really close race compared to more like a, I don't know, like me versus Boyne type situation. So
yeah, it's going to be a good one. And when their PBs are at this level, a lot of the times it's not necessarily going to come down to, I mean, to a certain degree, it's always execution, but a lot of it is going to be reacting to whatever this game throws at them. I think they're both pretty equivalent in terms of skill and knowledge. Node's been playing this game just a little bit longer than Chalmers has, but again, it's always going to come down to how you deal with the rare scenarios that kind of tend to pop up in this game. So it really requires a pretty good depth of knowledge.
Yeah, like honestly, once you hit like the 129 mark, literally the only difference between like a 129 and a 123 is consistency and just dealing with those oddball situations. So just depending on what happens and what kind of mistakes get made, this will be a pretty close one. Should be good. I'm excited. I am a little. Kaz is the best PB splits in the business. He doesn't even have them on for us, so I'm a little upset about that.
Yeah, his color scheme is great though. I really dig it, and Chalmers has an excellent splits background going on as well. So, fortunately, y'all don't get to see that, but we get to be treated to that, and we can kind of see what's going on in their individual splits. So we'll try to provide you any updates that are relevant as we go along here. But looks like the race is getting underway now. In terms of the tournament itself, this is actually Caznode's first brackets match here. Chalmers actually had to defeat Gerdo to get here, which is Gerdo is no slouch at this game either, and has a pretty similar PB to Caznode. So if Chalmers can take him out, he can certainly have a shot against Node here. So
I think the main thing is Gerdo's a little higher on the rust factor than Kaz's. But yeah, I mean, like you said, certainly doable. Chalmers, I mean, it's whenever you're like this minute and a half range between PBs, it's like you just need a good run and the other player needs a subpar run, and it's definitely in the ballpark.
Yeah, absolutely.
Granted, it can. We always say this, and it can go the other way too, just as often. So.
Yeah, but the cool thing is that we have no idea what's going to happen, and we just get to react and enjoy the show and just go along with it. So the tournament so far has had a ton of great matchups already. Lots of races coming down to the wire, lots of comebacks and surprise victories and upsets and all that. It's kind of difficult, I guess, to call anything an upset, because at the end of the day, they're really not necessarily playing each other. They're playing against the game, right? So definitely on any given day, anyone can beat anyone else pretty much.
Yeah, definitely. The game is there's a lot of little RNG in this. I mean, none of it's really like run ending, just from a pure RNG standpoint. I mean, maybe like a full 11 blue balls, but most of the stuff you can deal with, but it's not easy to deal with a lot of times. And if something unexpected happens, it's pretty easy to lose a minute in this game at like any point.
Yeah, something pretty significant will have to go wrong in order for anything like that to really happen. Chalmers is down a heart already. I actually didn't see what happened. It may have been that first initial guard hallway there.
Yeah, the first. No, it was the first key guard was a battle for the ages.
Go down in history.
Yeah, it was kind of like the Princess Bride sword fight. except less quippy.
Hopefully there was no patricide involved of any sort, or a six-fingered man or anything like that. But we are going to be fighting against the ball and chain guard here a little bit, so we got a little bit of fencing going on Caznode's side here as he takes a couple hits from the ball and chain. Okay, he's alive.
Yeah, it almost evens it up there. Basically, what happened to Chalmers would happen to Kaz, except on a slightly less dangerous enemy.
Yo, is this a chest turn already that we're seeing? Did he actually?
I believe it. I don't think I've ever seen a chest turn on that. Yeah, he might have moved after the. Oh no, he was in the cutscene. So yeah, I guess so.
Impressive. 1 for 1. Or no, not 1 for 1. I'm so wrong. There's already been a chest open. But a good percentage of chests have been turned already, so you love to see it.
I mean, it's like 25%. Chalmers got none. I don't know what your standards for good percentage are, but
honestly, I'm just happy to get the one in Agatower Dark Maze. If I get that one, I'm happy.
I like the Moon Pearl one. It's my favorite.
Now, see, that one has gotten me into trouble before.
Oh, because of the spark? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you whiff the chest turn and the spark's like, yo, what up, dude? Okay, Kaz needs to be a little bit careful here, and he does whip out the boomerang there to stun one of those guards, but he is down to half a heart now, so I wouldn't be surprised at all to see him pick up the safety heart back there in the sewers.
Yeah, I mean, he's completely safe up until that point. Like, he might take a hit from the rat, but those only do quarter damage, and he's on half right now, I believe. Yeah, nothing could even do a quarter at this point, so...
Yeah.
That rat that comes down can be kind of annoying, but even if Kaz face tanks that, he should be able to get to the heart. But yeah, in a tournament rate, like in a PB attempt, I would just kind of go for it at this point. But yeah, and there we go. Definitely the right call.
Yo, those snakes though, nice and clean on Node's side.
Yeah.
Chalmers has to boom one, but not a huge difference there. Yeah, I've found that in a lot of these tournament matches, and especially in my own experience, these first couple segments they do tend to be pretty wild, and people are playing kind of outside of what they would normally do just because of the nerves of the tournament race. But you know, once we get a few segments under our belts here, I think they will settle down a little bit, and we'll see some more normal execution from both of them.
Yeah, like in the grand scheme of things, all this stuff doesn't matter, especially with, you know, Caznode being the faster PB. Like, he's got some time he can give up, although he definitely needs to settle down because, you know, Chalmers will take advantage of it if he keeps making these mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely. And we should talk a little bit about just the potential of these runners too, and especially on Chalmers' side. I think it's been clear for a long time that Chalmers has been capable of a 125 PB, and I know he's kind of gunning for that at this point. So, you know, the PBs can only tell the story so much. They mostly just serve as kind of a guideline to what we can sort of expect here. But Chalmers, I think, has just a ton of potential, and I think he can honestly just bust out a 125 at any point, and has definitely been on the pace to do so these past couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think everyone saw me get a 125 and go like, oh, literally anyone can do it then, huh? So,
it's free real estate. Both runners did pick up Sankart. No surprise there whatsoever. Pretty much the platinum safety of this tournament. Only cost you about 3 seconds to pick it up, and can prevent a number of deaths, so very handy to pick up here.
I think both of them get it in their PB attempts even, so it's not even necessarily a tournament strat there. It's something like Doom has it in the 123, so it's such a minor thing and it just really helps you finish runs, which is a huge thing to get better at this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, Doomtap informing us we have to restart because he was not here. So we'll wait. It's fine.
Chalmers going all boomerang akimbo on this overworld screen.
You know, it's a great item. It doesn't see enough use, so he just wants to get his money out of it, I guess.
It's like doing the Death Blossom, but with a boomerang. It's pretty impressive. Just throw it in every direction and it should hit something, right?
Yeah. So this heart here that I expect Node to pick up, which he does, is actually a really fast heart. Barely loses you any frames at all. I mean, you don't necessarily need to pick it up on in even half a heart down, but you see here, Chalmers taking another hit there, so maybe possibly wishing at this point that he had picked it up, so he'd be half a heart higher, but ultimately probably not a big deal. There are other hearts you can pick up along the way here at the cost of a few more frames, but yeah, that initial heart there is really quick and doesn't cost you much.
Yeah, I'll skip a lot on 3 hearts, but like both of them have been having pretty uncharacteristically sloppy first 2 segments, and if I'm kind of in that mood, I'm probably grabbing it on 3 at that point just to get through.
Nice. Single rupee drop. All tied up on the money front here. That is one thing we will be slightly keeping our eyes on here are the rupee drops throughout Eastern.
My favorite is the one time I got my AGA or my pod money because I got 4 green rupees. It was very impressive.
Just taking the minimalist approach, you know, nothing wrong with that. Anything else is just excessive.
I mean, it's faster, to be fair. Like, it very much is actually faster to have more.
Yeah. We've seen some pretty crazy rupee counts, honestly, going into the first triples here in this tournament so far. I think someone almost had something like 70 rupees before even going to the triples. So it's been pretty crazy, but not seeing too many drops here just yet. But there are definitely some more enemies here later on throughout the dungeon that can potentially drop them.
Yeah, the big thing is you're going to spin those popos. The problem there is you really have no control. You can do the poke strat if you're on the red next and you know it's going to come to try to coerce it to be at the top. But like they can just, everyone's had the reds and blues spawn on the left and right and just nothing be up top.
Yeah, exactly. You have very little control over it unless you are kind of trying to force drops throughout the dungeon and trying to keep an eye on that. But Chalmers did pick up a 5 and gifted with greenies as he slapped one of those popos. Just invented a mashup enemy. Oh no.
One.
Dang. The old 2-cycle red Igors. This is a deceptively tough room that Chalmers is getting caught in here as caznode is finishing up his quick kill on Armos. Very nicely done there, but every single level of runner has 2-cycled that room, even 3 on occasion. You'll see, because it's a very tough room. Requires some pretty precise movement. So, but not really a huge loss there for Chalmers. Nothing that he can't make up later on.
I think I can honestly say I've never 3-cycled it. Not because I've messed it up that bad, just because that reset button gets hit when it does happen. It's just,
okay,
nope, we're
so
done.
You just take
done here.
The nuclear option there and just bail out.
Yeah, I feel like it's time to kneel down when that happens. But yeah, I mean, I think I say that every time. Those 2 rooms, honestly, are, I would say, two of the rooms in the top 10 hardest rooms in the entire game, and they're right in this first segment.
Yeah, absolutely. Caznode, looking at the arrow differences here, actually, Caznode did get a drop that Chalmers didn't, I believe, and was able to grab it. So he's sitting nice and pretty on 12 arrows here, whereas Chalmers is hurting a little bit on 5. It's not a massive deal. There's going to be plenty he can pick up later on, but generally we like to see a few more arrows coming out of Eastern there.
Yeah, he kind of usually when you get that 2-cycle, you just go ahead and grab some arrows because if you're getting the 2-cycle, you usually YOLO a couple into the wall, and since you have to wait anyways, you can grab those arrows. So he kind of missed out on that opportunity. Chalmers does have money though, so where Kaz doesn't. Kaz will probably just pick up the pot in Desert at this point, so it's only gonna be a couple frames. But Chalmers at least, I mean, 7's not great. You still need to get 4 at 7. So he'd like to be able to get 2 more, but there's not really a good place to get any. And yeah, this is an overworld.
Yeah, sure enough. Caznode doing a pretty nice execution of this library spin speed here, whereas Chalmers had to retry it, at which point it's not quite as worth it anymore, but as we see another retry here on Node's side here, spin dashes are, are a tough trick and a fickle beast for sure.
Yeah, I don't think that one. I don't think either of those are faster to retry. I think the only ones that are actually faster to retry are the Death Mountain ones and Eastern Palace spin speed. The rest, I'm pretty sure you should just bail on.
Yeah, that is accurate.
But I mean, us being.
Yeah, we
I've
have
sat
way
there
too
and
much
done-
moxie to do that.
Yeah, I've sat there and done pyramid spin speed 4 times just out of spite and hate. Kaz going for the book dash.
Wow, what's the window to actually cancel that? Because you just dash and press Y, right, to cancel.
Yeah,
with 2 frames?
it's got to only be like 2 or 3 frames. If I don't, it can't even be 3 because 3 would be 12 pixels away. So it's got to be 2 because I think it's 8 pixels that you can activate most stuff. Like pots or lamps, right? I think it's 8 pixels away. You can lamp them.
So the torches, in terms of lamping them, is actually weird, because the distance is different that you can light them from based on which direction you're facing. I think it's something like 7 for one direction, 11 for another, or something like that. So
Is that true?
yeah, it's
Wow.
legit.
I don't know why you would just be making up that very particular fact wrong. Like, not. I'm just joking.
Just pulling numbers out of my ass. That's what I do. So yeah, with no more rupee drops getting in Node's way here, I'm pretty sure we'll be seeing him pick up that 5 in Circle of Pots. It doesn't cost too much time.
Oh, and there's the red. That's the most aggravating red on the planet because it feels like you should be able to get it, but you just can't.
It's so tempting though, and we've definitely seen runners grab it before, just so they don't have to think about rupees at all.
I think if you're on like,
totally understandable.
I think if you're on like 0 or like less than 4, it might actually be worth it at that point because 20 will let you only get 2, which is a pretty big benefit over 3. Plus, you can skip the pot, so it's gonna be close, honestly, picking that up versus all that.
Yeah, that's a good point. But yeah, we did see Node grab that blue rupee there, so he's all set. He's got the minimum amount that he will need in order to be okay with the true rupees later on. So money not really a concern. Node is up to 30 arrows now, whereas Chalmers is still sitting on 25. So we could potentially see him pick up the pre-Landmo arrows, but I know a lot of runners are not huge fans of picking those up because the red Igor tends to just kind of be an asshole sometimes and get in your way, and you end up taking more damage than you'd like, and it feels like just a huge waste of time, but those arrows can be a pretty big boon later on. Nice use draft there from Caznode in that BMOS hallway. I think Chalmers has picked up that strat as well. We'll see. He does get another green rupee.
Yeah, I think everyone's picked up this strat. Even I've picked this strat up.
Even Apathy Duck.
I had to get taught it by one emo Saru, which was pretty embarrassing, to be honest.
Wow. Emo doesn't even have the house PB. What the hell?
She's not.
Chalmers actually is going to end up skipping those arrows as Node is starting to work on his Landmo fight here. This is his second cycle that he's on right now.
That was a
Chalmers
pretty nice recovery by Caznode after getting hit and still getting some shots in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, this is a bad opening. Not a bad opening on his part, just the pattern was bad where they're just going a little too high for you to hit them. Wow, that was a great second kill.
Those were so friendly. They stayed in the air for a long time, but Chalmers just barely misses the last arrow there. But yeah, able to clean it up in an early 4 there. So difference of a 3 cycle versus a 4 cycle there.
Yeah, and Chalmers is right at the point where Landmo starts to really matter. But the 125 range is when people are pushing for that is generally when I see people really sit down and try to take that fight apart. But it's just always going to be a nightmare.
Yep, for sure. Chalmers coming out of desert there with a 1729 sword up, whereas Node has 1706. So a little over 20-second difference between them right now as it stands. Node notably coming out of the fight also with 16 arrows, which is just nutty amount to have going into Hera here.
Yeah, despite some of Kazno's issues, 1706 is still a pretty decent desert time.
Okay, this is fine. Face down, ass up. It's the way we like to enter the warp. Not really, but it works out just fine for Chalmers, and the important thing is that he didn't get hit and get soft locked. That hoarder just dumping out rupees. Gave him 2 more greens there. Oh shit, is that the Tech Doom? Getting that free swim pump from entering facing down? Why isn't everyone doing this?
Well, because it takes longer to go above it.
Hey man.
And the Death Mountain Boulders, everyone's favorite. It was a nice
Love
dodge on that
Brussels
top one. Interesting, Kaz goes to mirror there. Most people want to save it for this quick warp instead of just freeballing it right there.
Yeah, definitely. You definitely see that more common. What the hell was that? I guess Chalmers was poking a boulder on the way up the stairs, so he got that animation and got stuck in it for a little bit and wasn't actually able to even attempt the spin dash until after that completed. It's unfortunate. Now Chalmers using the buffer here too, making liars out of us all, but then not sure what good it ended up doing, unfortunately.
I believe that's called the duck dance.
What sort of hell beast do you summon with that?
Just more of me.
Oh no. Alright, Node going for the boom dash here. Does get it, unfortunately doesn't land on the pegs for the iframes, but he will be nice and safe, tucked in his little jail cell there, I guess, and won't have to hit the switch in the next room, more notably. Chalmers also doing boom strats, gets the lobby dash there. I don't think he does the boom dash though, so doesn't make it quite as worth, but it's still pretty nice to have for this next triple mini Moldorm room coming up here, just to be able to use the boomerang in that room.
Use the boomerang on the Moldorms?
No. To hit the switch in the next room, since he doesn't do the
right.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't think that works.
I mean, you can just do it out of frustration and, like, slam your boomerang into him, I guess, but nothing's really going to happen, unfortunately. Very nice beetles from Kaz there. That is also a deceptively difficult room to do quickly and consistently, but does it really well, as we see Chalmers employing the boomerang in that room very nicely. See, there's that torch lighting distance. I was like, no, see, I don't... Yeah, okay, no early bomb jump here from Caznode. Is going to do the nice, consistent spin setup here.
Yeah, little issues in Beetle's room for Chalmers there. Cleans it up very, very well, though, for messing up the strat.
Yeah, for sure. When that room goes wrong, it can really go downhill quickly. Also, notably, he did get the arrow drop there coming out of Beetles, so had to hesitate just a little bit, but I think absolutely worth it considering the count that he was on. A Node on his Moldorm fight here, while Chalmers is doing his bomb jump.
Me and Boyne had a nice showcase of how the Beetles room can go wrong. And that was a very nice like dodge into spin to kill Moldorm on Caznode. like just recognized Moldorm was coming right for him and could didn't have to go for the dash and just went for the little like Neo dodge and just spun him to kill him.
Yeah, for sure. I think Moldorm is one of the bosses where you can really kind of see the skill difference in experience levels when it comes to different runners and just how they approach the fight. Moldorm, when you first start learning this game and speedrunning it, seems rather unpredictable. But his AI is actually pretty consistent, and you just start to kind of get a sense of how the fight is going to go and how you should play it. And Chalmers putting up another really great example of how that fight should go, and both runners making it out of hair without any major disasters. So that's always good to see.
Yeah, the time Moldorm kind of gets unpredictable is when you hit him and he's like right next to a wall, but it's like predictably unpredictable at that point, so you can kind of deal with it. Or he just, you know, fucks off to the left side and then it's just hell. Like, that's just...
All right, so Node got his 4 blue rupees there from the tree. Went for the bird kill. Unfortunately, he did get the bomb drop there. We do like to see that a little bit later on in the run, but not going to end up being a huge deal. There are plenty of other bombs that we can pick up later, but getting one from a drop for free is always pretty nice. We'll see what Chalmers does for his rupee routing here.
Yeah, the main thing on the bombs is there's actually bombs that people skip. There's a bunch of bombs that like are like optional that you can pick up. And like the tourney like safe strat I see a lot of people do is they just kind of grab all of them and they have enough. They get the first one in pod, they get the fuse down toilet. Pretty much everyone at this level is skipping at least one of those. So you can just kind of grab some extras there for only a couple frames. Be nice and tournament safe. That was really close to the Mushroom Chalmers, holy. It is a nice safety to have, it's going to completely mess up your menus and drive you nutty if you're not used to it.
Yeah, that toilet bomb you mentioned is pretty good backup. Costs something like 40 frames to grab it, but just having that amount of safety for a race is always a good thing and pretty much always going to be worth it. So won't be surprised to see these runners here grab that as well, kind of depending on their counts going in. I wonder, is Chalmers going to beam the crab here? Yes, he is. All right, good stuff. Can be a good strat if you're trying to avoid a drop from killing that crow that is in the log. There is another strat where you can just dash through, which prevents any enemies from dropping, which we're going to see another demonstration of here on Node's side. But
wait,
the other option there is...
Oh, he missed. Sorry, never mind. He didn't slash the one on the log at all. Because I know he dashed the bush crab on the first screen.
Yeah, exactly. Ooh, Chalmers missing the quote-unquote free fence dash, which is sometimes actually not free.
Yeah, Chalmers is having a light world, I can say that. Kaz's hasn't been entirely pretty either, but is at least coming out of it in pretty good shape, at least from a race perspective. Well, he must have not. This light world hasn't been that great, and he's only +3 on his hair split.
Yeah, his dark world honestly in his PB was pretty damn solid. His light world sword uptime, he actually got 4 blue balls in his PB, was 29:32, which is still a great time, but at the 124 level, you tend to start seeing a little lower light world times, but just showing that dark world in the long run ends up meaning a lot more and having way more impact on your final time than these first light world splits here. So
yeah, the back half of dark world is, I'd say, like more consistent than light world, but like harder overall. So it's hard to get a bunch of good splits in a row. But if you can do it, yeah, you can save a lot of time.
I'd agree with that as well. Well, that was kind of strange on Chalmers' side there. He slashed those bats, and neither of those guards gave a shit.
Well,
Just didn't even react at all, so I'm not sure exactly what happened there.
Don't you need beams from them to react?
I don't think so. I think if you kill those enemies at all, they'd be aggro, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I've never actually. When I come in there without beams, I just arrow them. I don't even slash the bats, so I'm not entirely sure.
All right, everybody get your quarters out. It's slot machine time. $14 guess from Doomtap. We're on track.
Yeah, he's on base.
Okay, didn't go 3 for 3 in the first cycle at least, so sitting on 2 right now on Node's side.
I think Node's gonna get the full duck here. Let's go 6 for Kaz and 1 for Chalmers. Oh, I wasn't paying attention to Caznode. He was standing below Aga when he's in the center there. I'm like, no.
I got a little debated there too. I kind of thought it was going to be the lightning attack, but it was not. Oh, and just, it's just going to be 3 for Node. And I think Chalmers is still sitting on 1 over here.
Yeah, he's just sitting on 1. He's still got the chance for 1 here, which will tighten this race up a good bit. Oh, no, he must have gotten 2 then. Oh, wait, no. I'm sorry, I'm miscounting. Well, there's
the second, yeah. Now you cursed it. Listen.
Okay, well, 3 for both.
3 for each. I
So,
mean...
yeah, I mean, for a race situation, that's what you want. It would have been nicer to get Chalmers a little free catch-up, but... Like, as we were saying,
he would prefer to earn it anyway, I think.
Earn this. Yeah, there was a total duck between them.
Whoops, looks like Node missed his split on the Light World sword up there.
He's gonna have to sit now.
it's one of the more difficult splits to hit, just the mechanics of it, because you have to dash pretty much immediately afterwards. There's a little bit of a delay there, but one reason I really love running on auto splits is you just don't have to worry about any of that, and you just let the program do its job, and you can just focus on your inputs.
Yeah, and then it keeps splitting in the wrong place.
Listen, you take what you can get, okay?
It's just so eager to give you golds. Just these fat golds.
Yeah. You saw on Node's side there, he actually got the bad RNG from the moblin there, and handled it pretty well. He ended up beaming the Ropa out of the way. You can also just boomerang that Ropa to stun it and move along on your path. But the important thing is that he did not get hit there and end up losing Kiki. So
Chalmers was also in risk of getting the bad RNG from the high knocks there. With it. The only bad RNG is 2 right throws, so you have to pay attention when he throws the first one to the right, which he did. You can either dash a little bit lower if that happens, or you can do like a redash. So I'm not sure if Chalmers read it and then it just didn't matter, or but he ended up just being able to go straight across. But it's I think it's if all 4 directions are 25%, it's like a 1/16 then. So it's fairly rare, but it is something that you do have to recognize. We do see Chalmers picking up that first pod bomb. Optimally, you skip this and the Thieves Town bomb, and you get like the Turtle Rock one. But that's getting that bomb will give you an extra run for IPBJ, and it'll give you 1 in your pocket for Spooky, as long as you don't waste any. So I'm always a fan of picking that one up. That one, I believe, is faster than Toilet too, so that's the best one to grab. Well, that's also if you grab both Hammer Jump bombs, and I don't think Chalmers does.
I'm not sure, actually. We'll find out here in a little bit, so there's really no need to speculate, but definitely an interesting point we'll be keeping our eye on in terms of bomb counts here, as Node is approaching the Hammer Jump.
Yeah, Kaz does skip it. Yeah, the
sword buffer.
The main thing with picking that bomb is it gives you less time to pick it up. What I do is I just resign myself to pause buffering the first one, not even trying to sword fix it. And I just try to nail it at first try. So it's different strokes really. If you're trying to sword buffer the first one, it is faster, but it is like the freest bomb that you can get. It is really quick.
Just land on the pixel's forehead.
It's not that. I mean, it's the same as Hellway, right? Like, it's not that ridiculous.
Kind of, yeah. Alright, Chalmers attempted his bomb jump here. Looks like he's 1 pixel low there. Alright, looks like he's going to be safe here. Note on his bomb jump. Sword buffered the first position nicely. Tried to do the same for the second, but ended up using those menu buffers instead, and actually ended up taking another heart of damage from getting hit by his second bomb over there. So ended up having to pick up 2 hearts there, cost him just a few frames, but is back up to full health here, so no worries.
Yeah, those progressive heart, it's like 40 frames for the second one and 60 for the third one. But they just get progressively worse because you go further and further away. Oh!
A little bit of an archery contest there, but definitely not the worst one I've ever seen.
Well.
Oh, both runners bonked on that right dash over. Something I've actually picked up somewhat recently, and shoutouts to Fricker for this, is actually not dashing below the pots, but actually just stopping your dash to the side and picking up that very bottom pot from the side. Doesn't really cost that much time and seems to be a little less risky in terms of bonking and losing 70 frames.
That is the most Greenham strat I've ever heard.
It wasn't even my invention, dude.
Yeah, but like I can just hear you salivating over.
Love it. All about that safety and consistency. As Node is going for the spin dash version of the Hemmelsorr fight here, extending that hammer hitbox a little bit.
Yeah, it's funny, like
fireballed every phrase.
I'm saying it's funny, like how much we've found on Helma in the last year that was just previously undiscovered, because we had the poke dash or the hammer dash strat right before the spin speed thing came out, which kind of changed the fight for some people too. And then the spin speed now kind of took that away. It's definitely a good strat. It does have the problem that if you get pinned to the bottom, you now have to deal with it a different way. You kind of have to cancel out of it. That and like honestly learning how to naked hammer Helma when you're so used to the other cues is another big challenge.
Yeah,
Chalmers
absolutely.
Does go for it. Looks like he didn't get the spin. He does go for it again. I think at that point you're probably better off just going back to the old strat if you just missed it the first time.
Yeah, there's definitely an argument to be made for that. It definitely makes these phase 2 hammers a lot more lenient, so I mean I can understand maybe why he wanted to go for that reactivation there, just to feel a little more comfortable on phase 2. But like you're saying, the non-sword out hammers can definitely be a little tricky. The spin dash doesn't really make the fight free necessarily. You have to be pretty knowledgeable about the fight and how Hemmelsorr is going to move around the arena and be able to react to that already. So it's definitely not a get out of jail free card or anything like that, but for experienced runners and fighters of Hemmelsorr, it can definitely be a positive.
Yeah, I think the big thing about retrying it is the longer the fight goes, the more likely he's going to end up on the bottom, which is the state you don't want to be in with the spin speed strat, because you can't, with the sword out, you can just go perpendicular to him, and like those are actually the freest hammers with the sword out, but without it, it's pretty bad. And the other thing I just realized, like you're actually moving faster too, so like the framing timing window on being able to hit Helma is actually a little bit tighter too. So it's like one of those like rich gets richer strats, because it does make the fight more consistent if you are good at the fight. But it is certainly not the easiest thing to do and get perfected.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it. All right, relatively even ammo counts here, both sitting on 6 bombs, Chalmers with 10 arrows, Node with 7, so both pretty comfy in terms of that, so no worries about their ammo going forward here necessarily.
Thanks for the counting update.
I'm good at counting, just not when I'm speedrunning.
That's one of the things that after being away from this, particularly this category for over a year, is like I just forget all the counts that you really want. And we have a map. We do have looks like an all crystal dark world, so that's
Get out of here. Get out.
It's gonna be a pretty long seed then.
Son of a bitch. All right, Node looked like he maybe whiffed the first flute dash there. I think he tapped A before he hit Y, so I'm not sure if he'll actually have the free dash coming out of this cutscene or not, but we shall see.
I see dust right now, so I think he does. See the bottom left link?
Yeah, you might be right. All right, yeah, he's good. Ooh.
And there we have the ye olde slash before.
Chalmers is like one of 2 runners, I think, that still go for this.
Right,
but...
he's doing this on purpose. I forgot.
Yeah. No,
Who's the other one?
Who have I seen doing that? Maybe Gerdo.
This feels like a Gerdo thing. Man, that means we had a 2 spin speed strat race before? That's cursed.
I don't think Fricker does it anymore. I could be wrong. He kind of goes back and forth on strats a lot, but that is definitely a Chalmers special and something that I associated with him. And I mean, honestly, I respect him all the more for it. He knows that, you know, most likely he doesn't necessarily save time with it all the time, but it's fun. He enjoys it, so and it's his speedrun and it's his choice what to do.
It's his poke dash. I feel like there's a lot of people who have like that, like one or 2 things about that. I think we had a conversation a while ago that like if you just watched someone's like feed without any like splits or anything or telling me, you could like have a pretty decent shot of figuring out who it is just by like everything they're going for and all that.
Yeah, for sure. I really love those little like signature moves. You know, like for instance, if you see someone walking on a screen where you normally don't see someone walk, it's probably my gameplay.
If you have to question or not whether or not they got the boots, it's probably Green. That's why I'm a little upset about the easier Ice Palace clip, because that was like one of my 2 like. I'm not saying I'm the only one who did it, but it was definitely the minority strat in that room for a while. But the new hammer method, a lot of people have picked it up now.
Yeah. All right, so Thieves Town update here. Not a lot going on. It didn't look like Node had a very eventful Hellway. I'm pretty sure the 2 hearts of damage that he took was before that point, so didn't take any additional damage. Chalmers not able to hit the pixel here, unfortunately. We'll see. He doesn't take any additional damage either. It's good to see everyone pretty healthy here.
Guess we're supposed to ask a trivia question.
I intentionally leave that to Anders. You know, I feel like, you know, we're talking about signature moves, and that's definitely just an Anders copyright movement there. So
I mean, I do have one.
Oh, well.
The trivia question is: would anyone like to date Anders?
I mean, if you saw the haircut and you know the dye that he just got done, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if someone said yes. Anders be looking pretty fly right now.
Anders, your cooking ability is not a selling point to me.
Wow.
I already have it. I don't need. That's not an upgrade.
Got all the ice cream you can eat, right?
Chalmers going for those dashes. Kind of canceled them a little early. Did the little wiggle there. It saves very little to actually go for that.
solid blind fight from Node. Really no worries throughout the majority of this dungeon for either runner so far. Chalmers just still rocking the full hearts, so
he's gonna get hit right here. Yep, I knew it. I was like, he's absolutely gonna get hit right here.
Well, I was gonna talk about beams and how they can make the blind fight a little bit faster, but to hell with that.
It can make it faster, or it could screw you up and make it a lot longer. Chalmers going for the sword clink on the head instead of the required hammer hit. It's funny, like the hammer hit, like I started doing it as a meme, but like I'm so used to it now, it's actually like throws me off when I don't have the hammer to do it.
Yeah, I think I mean, if you're not really familiar with this speedrun, if you watch a lot of streams, it's definitely done by a lot of runners. You'll see them do that. You'll probably start to think that it is just a part of the fight, but definitely not required. Just a little bit, unless you're Duck, I guess. But mostly just for swag.
Yeah, I mean, it does kind of like auto avoid the first fireball, so it's not complete meme, but
yeah,
and
fair.
it puts you up at the top. It actually is kind of nice, but it's really nothing. It's mostly a meme, but you've meme for long enough, and you kind of miss it when you don't have it. Yeah. Oh wow, Kaz is doing the old boy here.
Yeah, I did say that Node has definitely been running this game a little bit longer than pretty much all of us, honestly. But this is one of the holdovers that he has had. I think I've heard him talk about it before, and he honestly just finds this a little bit easier and really finds no reason to change. The reason that you're going to see Chalmers most likely do something a little bit different, where he's going to mirror earlier on the screen there, is that the rock throw that caznode had to do there is actually pretty difficult to do quickly. And most of the time, the strat that Chalmers is doing here can save just a little bit of time. And we're seeing one reason. Wait, was that an extra warp, or was I just?
I was watching
out
Chalmers
for a second. Okay, I couldn't tell if Node mirror bonked there or something, and ended up getting warped back. But yeah, the mirror position here is a little bit precise. But honestly, we're talking about a difference of like, half a second or something like that. But
it's not
this
even
trick right here.
Yeah, well, fence dash. But
Yeah,
I mean,
that's more important than anything else.
It's like theoretically like even, honestly, if you do it perfectly.
Yeah.
It's just it's just how much time are you losing on each rock throw is the main thing.
Yeah, exactly. For a task, the way that Chalmers did it actually ends up being a little bit slower or about the same anyway, but it's mostly just trying to avoid those human error frames there from timing the throws.
It's actually funny that like for a strat that was
You just wanted to do 2 fence dashes, okay?
Oh my god.
Oh no, he bonked.
I was saying for a strat that's like theoretically even, where it's like almost like a preference thing, it's funny how like quickly that got adopted by like literally everyone. So Kaz one of the few holdovers. The other thing I was thinking, like, I was just thinking about like the entrance in this tournament. Like, there's not a lot of old boys in this tournament. It's mostly the new guard, like from the 2018 NMG tournament and beyond. Kaz and like Andy are like the two like old boys
those are
hanging
the two
around.
names that come to mind. Yeah, you're definitely right about that. And honestly, like, it's kind of a cool thing to see. The fact that the community is so populated with newer runners now, and I think the speedrun itself has seen a lot of benefit from that, just from fresh blood, getting eyes on the game and putting their own spin on it and introducing us to some new strats and approaches and ways of thinking. Not to say that like anything that Node is doing is just so terrible or anything. I mean, he has an amazing time and has definitely contributed a lot to the community. But yeah, definitely really enjoy seeing all the new runners. Yeah,
I'm saying that mostly as a good sign, just because there's just constantly new blood and new life coming into the game. I mean, I started even after the 2018 tournament, and there's people who have cut me that started even after that. So, there's just constant influx of people. Me being gone for a year, I came back and looked all the times like, what happened? Like,
yeah. Oh, Node taking a little bump there, and the Mummy Hellway fortunately recovers rather well. A lot of times it doesn't really go that well when you end up getting hit there. You kind of just get locked into this damage from the mummies hitting you over and over again. But sitting on 4.5 hearts here for the moth fight, so we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, so was that extra heart. I mean, honestly, the rest of the skull was really clean. So that one hit there, like honestly, like players of this level, they can take one hit and not be a problem. Everyone who's in the AD tournament was used to doing this basically sankless.
Mhm.
So it's not too bad. It's when you take like 2 hits or even 3 that it becomes a little bit nerve-wracking here. But Moth gave him pretty friendly pattern, got an 8 out of 10, so no issues there.
Yep. Chalmers did a slightly safer, slightly slower, potentially more consistent strat there in the Mummy Hellway, so didn't take any damage there. We'll see how his moth fight goes. Looks like he did get the double. I'm not sure if that one counted or not. It did. So that was hit number 4 there. Nice moth fight from Chalmers as well. So as we're coming out of Skullwoods here, it's about the difference of the cutscene itself here between the two. So something like anywhere between like 40 and 50 seconds between the runners at this point. Again, nothing that can't be overcome throughout the rest of this run, but something is probably going to have to go a little bit wrong on Node's side. It doesn't necessarily have to be a boss death or anything like that, but still a lot of ball game left for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of entering the stretch where every segment has a pretty obvious 30-second time loss that you can have. We have IPPJ, Swamp. I mean, Swamp's maybe not really is probably the one that doesn't have like the one big time loss, but the shopping trip can go poorly wherever they end up doing that. Turtle Rock is just every room is a 30-second potential time loss, and then Gaines Tower is just a nightmare. So yeah, there's plenty of time. Chalmers is gonna have to play pretty well here, but like it's almost like you kind of have Light World and then you have up to the Skull Split, and then this like back half is almost like a completely different game at that point. So we kind of entered like the final phase. Oh, that was a quick fish. Very nicely done by Cats. Shout outs to Kozar.
And a swag block on Chalmers' side. Some excellent gaming going on both sides here. One difference in strats here I did want to note, you see Chalmers on this screen right here. Does that dash, but Node actually carried his dash a little bit farther along the right up that slope there. And that actually is an older strat that has kind of come back more into favor these days. You see a lot of top runners doing that. It just kind of makes the Moblin RNG a little bit easier to deal with, a little more favorable. But ultimately, again, not a huge difference, but Chalmers looked like he was setting up for the quick fish there, but didn't end up going for it.
Yeah, one interesting thing to point out is both of these guys are just like mid-20s above their PB. Caznode is at 26, Chalmers is at 29. So they're both playing like exactly even to their PBs relative to each other. This is just, Kaz being the slightly stronger player here, being the favorite coming in. So this is something interesting to note.
Would you hesitate for that bomb drop there? That Node just got on his side. I mean, it's ultimately not going to be a huge deal or anything, but
so coming in with 4, yeah, I think so. You just want the extra for IPPJ. I think you want 4 will give you 2, right? Like I said, I'm terrible at my counts now. So yeah, something like, especially if Kaz is watching, he sees he's got, Chalmers isn't like hot on his heels or anything. You're not going to lose this race because you waited for a couple frames. You might lose this race because you run out of bombs on IPPJ.
Yeah, for sure. But we'll see how that ends up turning out here. Nice. Both had pretty good warp screens there. That's a notoriously difficult screen to deal with that RNG and to swim into the warp effectively, but both runners got through it pretty nicely.
Yeah, actually, I can definitely say it because Yak was right on my heels in our race, and I still went way out of my way for a slug bomb. So,
Ooh, there's another small thing there. Node not able to hit that switch a second time, so
that was a high
is
bomb.
going to have to. Okay, it still worked.
Yeah.
He is going to have to hit the switch in this room. Might cost him a few frames. He does have beams though, so. Oh, but the jelly blocked him. That's like the one scenario where it can really go bad. But we'll see how his IPBJ goes here. Looking good.
Interesting, he moves down sideways. You see a lot of players when they want to be like facing down, they'll just move down and pause buffer, try to get it like for quote unquote for free. Kaz went like sword down a little bit. It's not a big deal. It's just kind of a little interesting. And yep, bomb floor is gonna happen to Chalmers here.
Oof.
This is why you. This is another reason why you grab that extra bomb. It's not only IPBJ. This room can go wrong. That was a misread by Chalmers. He definitely shouldn't have planted that bomb early. There was no way he was getting through.
Ooh.
Oh, that is very unfortunate.
It's not great territory. Kind of scrambling here a little bit to figure out what to do. He will get bombs from these big Stalfos here, so not a huge concern. Kind of lucky he was able to kill both of them with that single bomb there, but I think the bigger concern at this point is going to be his health. Sitting on 5 hearts here, just took another heart. Going to have to intentionally take one on the bomb jump here, but will get at least one back as Node is falling into the cold stare fight and sitting on pretty healthy odds.
Yeah, and there's the fire rod shot there. Did he use one coming into the dungeon? Oh no.
This is where the mistakes start to kind of compound, and your mind starts racing, and I mean, I know this feeling all too well. You're just trying to do whatever you can to try to kind of calm down and settle and start playing the game again. So is able to make it past the bomb jump here, but only sitting on 2 hearts.
Yeah,
gonna be
even trying to avoid the spike here is not gonna matter because we'll see. Yeah, I mean, he should just go through that. I mean, I guess it depends on what strat he does in this room. Because 2 hearts is effectively 1 heart on cold stare here.
Yeah. Sure.
This can go wrong. You can get hit by the fireball though, so it's still not a bad call, I suppose.
Yeah. Cold stare is a fight that is, you can almost call it scripted, but it's way more difficult to pull off that script than for something like the blind fight. I know this is a fight that Chalmers has definitely practiced a ton. Does, struggle on it occasionally, as we all definitely do. But we're definitely hoping for him to have just a nice clean fight here and just, pretend like he has basically full health going in.
Yeah, the big problem is... Oh, I was really close on the ice. The big problem is at 2 hearts... Oh!
Whew. Very nice. Okay,
yeah, very nice. Like, for players of this skill level, you're not really worried about getting hit by cold, but those ice drops, even for the single poke, if you don't do it absolutely perfectly, the ice can just fall on you and hit you. So you really want to be at like 3 hearts to be able to take the one hit. And then you're going to kind of generally going to have a cold stare party after that, but you'll at least be live. So it came really close on that first one.
Yeah.
Get to the wall, and then that second one, I was able to bait it correctly and get through. It's a very nice save by Chalmers. Unfortunately, he did still lose a pile of time here, where he does need to be making up time. But that's what I was saying about IP. Like, that's one of the rooms where it's just like that's an easy 30 to 40 second loss. Really, I think what really threw him off was he was on fire rod coming in, and that just completely threw off everything, and then it just kind of spiraled out of control.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how just one little thing being off, or just like the previous room going a little bit awry, can kind of throw you off from your normal patterns and your normal set of inputs. But hopefully Chalmers is able to settle down here a little bit and just play his game. And as I say that, he takes a little detour to flute location number 5. Destination vacation for all of us from time to time. But now hopefully he can settle down and start to play his game. Is sitting on 0 bombs here, but there's definitely some in Swamp that he is going to be able to pick up.
You just give me an idea for a meme that I need to make right now. Hold on.
So happy to be your muse. There is a little bit of a difference here in the collection paths that these runners are going to take. Node did end up collecting ether in this segment, whereas I believe Chalmers is going to be collecting both the ether and ice rod during Mire. So there will be a little bit of divergence here. We won't be able to have necessarily the clearest idea of the deltas between these two runners, but they should sync back up around Turtle Rock after they get the ice rod. Fresh memes, hot off the presses here from Apathy Duck. That's pretty good. I like it.
All right. Anyways, what's happening in the race? Sorry, that's preoccupied.
It's just swamp. Nothing really else of note is happening here. Honestly, we kind of meme on this dungeon a little bit as kind of being a resident sleeper.
Say it.
Nope, I ain't saying that. I'm not saying the line, Bart. But there's a ton of RNG in here that when you do learn how to react to it, it can be pretty satisfying, honestly, to pull off some of these rooms. So yeah, definitely not a ton going on in terms of like exciting tricks like a lot of the other dungeons have, but still some high level gameplay that has to take place here in order to get pretty good segment times.
Yeah, Chalmers getting hit by that Tektite while coming across, I think, was just a pretty apt example of exactly what we were talking about. Yeah, and again right there, and again right there. It's like a bunch of little small things that hurt just a little bit by themselves, but over time they can build up and cause some serious issues.
Do you have to break out the thesaurus for that one?
It'd be nice if there was some sort of concise phrase or something we could say to just express that idea without so many words.
What's that party game where you have to like describe a word or something without
Taboo.
saying? Oh, taboo. Yeah, that's right. So that's kind of what's going on right here.
You basically tabooed. The party game in which you have to describe things without saying the word that you're not allowed to say.
So good at this game, dude. Alright, so in terms of arrow count here, Caznode is sitting on 12, so likely we'll see him pick up this pot here, but he could likely actually skip the restock room and opt for some different arrows a little bit later on. It's kind of one of those things that is obviously up to the runner's discretion, but just kind of depends on what you're comfortable with in G Tower.
What was that dash below the spike by Chalmers straight into the firebar?
Well, okay, to give him some credit, I will often take that dash path if the top one is blocked, but obviously it does run that risk of that firebar just camping that spot and you running into it. But
he then did the thing that you hate the most.
I didn't see it, so it didn't happen.
All right, Kaz heading into his Argus fight. I believe Kaz has picked up Zero Cycle. I know last year in the AD tournament, he still wasn't going for it, despite definitely being in his skill range. So yeah, he is going for it. Very nice opening. Ooh, that left one was very close. Yeah, was able to save it though. A little bit of a friendly pattern by Argus, it looks like. And gets the second phase. Very nicely done.
Yeah, very good fight there from Caznode. Interested to see what Chalmers is going to do here with this arrow count. Obviously, I mean, he's totally fine. He can absolutely skip this pot. Sometimes you will see runners pick this up just so that they can have plenty after the Vidi fight and then not have to worry about the Turtle Rock arrows, which looks like exactly what Chalmers is going to do there. definitely kind of nice to have an extra bomb in your inventory as well in case Spooky does go wrong.
Yeah, I think like 21 is kind of like the magic number, and he was sitting right at 20, since he was already kind of priced in for the. I mean, he could have skipped both, right, and just went for it. I think would have been the absolute optimal thing to do there. But if you're gonna get that bomb for safety, the arrows are kind of worth it at that point.
That was such a rude pattern from Argus there. Kind of charged him into the wall there. Chalmers was going for the 0 cycle, but has to be kind of careful now, sitting on 1.5 hearts. Anything that hits him in this fight now at this point will kill him. But it looks like he's going to get out of it just fine. Does the 2 spins here to finish it up.
There you go, Chalmers is...
Son of a bitch.
It's technically different than the one you specifically ate, so that's...
Wait, how does he still have a bunch of nickels and dimes? He just got them all taken away.
Oh boy.
$1.50 on Argus, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, not to necessarily like dump on Chalmers here, but this is kind of what you expect between like a 126 and a 124. Just things are just a little bit more likely to go wrong for Chalmers than they are for caznode. It's like I said, it's so much of a consistency thing. It's not like caznode is just like going that much faster in every room. It's just Chalmers has had more major issues so far up to this point.
Yeah, for sure. Caznode, very nice Mire 2 there, doing the fast version of that room and still killing all the wizarobes in 1 cycle. Good stuff.
I can't believe everyone hasn't switched back to shopping in Mire now that the duck backup is a thing.
Yeah,
rude,
I mean,
rude, honestly.
That, to be fair, that only helps with 1 heart.
Yeah, one heart is the main thing.
So we'll see how Chalmers fares here on his. Oh, I'm so sorry, Chalmers.
I just want to point out the reason that is so funny is because the hook shot on the dead rock was very nicely done and like very heads up, and then he just yeets into the hole. It's like seeing a guy do like a triple like backflip like Lutz and then into a belly flop off a dive. Like that's it was really impressive until you just destroyed yourself on the landing.
Yeah. That was really good. The important thing here, though, is that he didn't take any damage, so
he did not
he's
take
going
any
to be able
damage.
to collect ether here.
I mean, he went back into the old man cave. He could have, if he did take damage, you know, he could have just walked around.
Yeah, he's going to grab Ice Rod here as well, which I'm pretty sure caznode has yet to collect, so it'll be a little bit more of a discrepancy now. In their routing in terms of the difference in their times here, but as I said, we will sync back up after Turtle Rock, basically once we land on Death Mountain there.
Yeah, it's interesting because this is kind of the new strat that I see a lot of people kind of go for with the moving the shopping trip around. So like we were saying, like Kaz is like kind of one of the old boys who's still doing the old mirror strat. So it's kind of interesting to see like what new things he has incorporated and what things he hasn't.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that, I mean, obviously it comes down to just whatever the runner's personal choice is. And I think caznode is one of those gamers that will test things for himself and see what he likes and doesn't and what makes sense for him. And that's something that, you know, we kind of try to encourage out of every runner. You know, don't just blindly pick up a strat because it's what you see everyone else doing. And whatever works for you and is consistent is always going to be the best strat. Chalmers taking out a little frustration on Pete Casserly there.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it's just like opportunity cost too. It's like, is it worth your time to practice this new and learn this new thing, or just like, you know, practice the other things that you actually need to improve? I know that's like a big thing for like Andy specifically. It's just like he's just not going to bother to learn a lot of the new stuff just because like the old stuff is like if frames slower or slightly less consistent, but like, you know, he's done it for so long, it just doesn't matter. And it's just not worth the effort to sit down and learn. And
just to like take all that stuff out of your muscle memory too is certainly not trivial. As
oh yeah, definitely.
Node was getting a little chased around by the bunny beam there. Didn't end up getting to perform the last spooky there, but does manually go and hit the switch as he's rolling into his video fight here, using the menu buffer there on that first up left movement to make sure that there isn't any sort of rogue eyeball charging at him. Very nice 0 cycle fight there. Cool, good stuff.
Yeah, he kind of cut that corner with a diagonal. I see a lot of people, and I do the just go in cardinally method to kind of take care of that RNG. But that cardinal, I guess the diagonal will get a little faster. It'll make it a little bit easier to get that last spin in to beat the entire cycle.
All right, 2 cutscenes going on here. Hype, let's go. You got any more memes for us, Doc?
I was just gonna say, I am listening to Spotify while this is going on, and I've gotten 2 Dankness songs, so this is clearly blessed by Chalmers right now.
This is a sign. This means Chalmers is gonna come back somehow.
I haven't actually gotten the Chalmers one yet, though, so I don't know if it's a good or bad thing.
Interesting. Well, still got a little under 20 minutes to go here, so anything could happen, right?
Yeah, and it is a little closer than it does look, because Chalmers does have this ice rod in his pocket. Kaz definitely is ahead, though.
Chalmers taking the safe path there, not opting for the Spark Gamble. Not sure if that's just a strat that he doesn't do. Not a huge difference in terms of time, but he did definitely have full hearts for it. But totally understand him not wanting to risk that, as Node is collecting his ice right here.
Yeah, it's one of those things that, especially at this level, like it's actually not a risk at all, because I mean, I guess this run could go poorly, but like once you get to Vidi, it's that eye hitting you is either going to kill you or it's not. Like, I think you can come in with enough to take 1, even with taking that, but like that extra heart is almost immaterial, honestly, for the rest of the dungeon.
Nice bailout there by Node. Saw that the dead rock was giving him some unfavorable RNG there and stopped to beam it out of the way. Never trust a dead rock. Always slash it or freeze it whenever you have the opportunity to do
Quake
so,
it.
or most likely it will come back to bite you in the ass.
When we all gonna run on the hack that removes all the dead rocks?
Or just makes it so that you can actually kill them. Like if there was some element of combat to it that you could actually do without having to use Quake.
Powder. You could get powder. I mean, that's the thing. The game does give you a way to deal with them. We just don't get it, and we just have to deal with it. So
can't believe they weren't thinking about the speedrunners when they made this game, dude.
Yeah, I was thinking the other day, there's just so many like little things in this game that like are only noticed by speedrunners, and like the being able to like slash in between text boxes or something on the 1 frame. Right. It's just like something you have to deal with the way you mash and everything. It's just like no one's ever gonna do that in a casual type of.
Chalmers really clean video fight there. I didn't see if Node got the quote-unquote free quick warp or not.
I mean, we'll just give it to him because it is obviously free.
Yeah, okay. We'll just say you got it. But yeah, I mean that's a good point you bring up. A lot of the exploits that we use in this game, people like to say, "Oh man, this game's so broken," but like the shit that we have to do in order to quote unquote break the game requires tons of precision and really wacky inputs that you would never really do in casual plays or anything like that. So developers definitely made a pretty sturdy game, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, the big thing is like the game. We can break the game. We can VRAM this game, and like the game just keeps on ticking. Like, I mean, part of that is the developing in like assembly versus like a more modern like language, but like. I'd go try to like VRAM a modern game in a speedrun and see what happens. It's just the game's gonna be like, nope, you're done here. We're going to Windows.
Yep.
So yeah, the amount of stuff we put this game through and just keeps on chugging along is quite impressive.
All right, here's one of those rooms that we're kind of talking about where you can just lose gobs and gobs of time, but luckily Node gets some favorable patterns there from the chomps and is able to make it through cleanly without taking any additional damage. Oh shit, did we completely miss
We both
that?
missed the Waffle House?
That was my fault for talking about Choms, but yeah, that's another Chalmers special where he always, 100% of the time, goes for that the Waffle House drive-through, as we like to call it. And if Lynx's excitement is to be believed in chat, he got the triple tap. Hell yeah, dude! Now that's what I call gaming.
He got the triple tap, and he didn't run into the old man cave again. So that's really good for him.
Learning from his mistakes, that's the name of the game. Improvement.
Yeah, he was just warming up with that first one. Yeah, at this point, though, this is a pretty commanding lead. I mentioned a while ago that both of them were about 20 seconds over their PB. Caznode is still right on that, so he's keeping pace with his PB. Like you said, his PB had a ridiculous Dark World, so he lost a little time, kind of like the beginning half of Dark World, but is keeping up with his PB since then. So Kaz is putting on quite a show here. At this point, it's going to require some sort of major mistake from Caznode for Chalmers to catch up. We'll see if Kaz is watching and decides to take the Turtle Rock safety door. That's probably the biggest thing that can go wrong at this point. Really don't really see GT defs at this level, because like a lot of times when you're gonna take a def, you'll take a lot of damage in the front half, and you get the oldie Josh fairies to for the back half there.
All right, Chalmers still going for the D-boost exit.
No.
Here. Oh no, dude.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he got sent back to the beginning anyway. I was kind of thinking, maybe since he took that initial hit from the roller and then didn't have the roller in a very good spot on the way out, he might mirror out, but did just opt to go through and kind of paid the price for it there, unfortunately. But not a whole lot lost here necessarily.
Yeah, if I get hit by the roller on the way in, because I just mirror, because it throws off all your timing in the back half of the room. Like, you're probably not, by the time you get through that room, you've probably wasted the 5 seconds that mirroring takes anyways. So just like, even in PB attempts, like if I get hit, I'm just mirroring, because it's just too much of a struggle to actually save time and be safe coming back through.
Yeah, for sure. And on Chalmers' side, that was really strange and honestly rude from the Chomps. He was on those pegs just as they were coming up, but unfortunately was just a few frames off, I'm pretty sure, from getting the iframes, and ended up still taking a hit from the Chomps there.
Yeah, Kaz does not take that safety door. Got 1 billion hearts, though, even if this goes sideways. It should be fine here. It does get that first hit. Generally, once you get that first hit in, the rest of the fight is on autopilot. The only thing I expect to even maybe happen here is after the double spin getting hit, but he's only going to take 4 hearts of damage from that. I did take 2 to lose to Kaz in the AD tournament, but he can even take that, so... Yeah, he just cleans it up nicely.
Yeah, for sure. You definitely hit like the 2 major points where if something is going to go wrong, it's going to go wrong there, and usually it's that first ice rod shot that you make to try to freeze the head, and then on the double spins after. But Node with a pretty solid fight there, as we would expect, as Chalmers rolling into double pokies here. I think he already got his fairy drop.
Yeah, he did.
Not like he's necessarily hurting for hearts at this point. I'll shut my mouth.
Yeah, this is pretty classic Turtle Rock. I mean, Chalmers is kind of, since that ice palace bomb, I'm kind of throwing him off. He's racing against a top runner. Probably sees the writing on the wall a little bit, and just like nerves and frustration, and just this dungeon being hard. So none of this is particularly surprising or out of character. That sounded a lot meaner than I meant it.
That's pretty much on brand for you, though, Duck. I think we're all used to that by now. We know you have a heart of gold. You just
I meant like, just this is what happens in this game. Like, it's not like, oh, this is totally Chalmers just blowing the run.
Yeah, way she goes, as Doomtap says.
But yeah, I mean, Kaz, really just has had this thing nailed down. Like you said, his PB Dark Roll is excellent, and he is barely lost any time. In fact, he's saved time. He's saved 8 seconds since Ice Palace. So putting on a really good run here. I mean, he's on the low 125 face, which is really good time.
Yeah, for sure. And holy shit, he's running against a 7 flat GT. I'm not sure where he splits for that, but pretty much regardless of where he does, that is a
That's
really
gotta be landing.
solid segment time.
I mean, maybe not like, you know, he like you said, he had the 3 blue balls and some other issues in his PB, and has a 124. Just take that out. He is pushing. Well, yeah, sub 7 is like 123 territory usually. With landing, that is.
Yeah. So we
it's only like 4-second difference, but
yeah. So yeah,
I mean, that is a goal.
A really clean segment here from Node, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, he's gonna need to have a disaster of Ganon's Tower and probably something like a Ganon, like even like an early-ish Ganon death. Which, of course, a disastrous Ganon's Tower will make you more likely to die to Ganon. But the way Kaz is playing, I really don't expect that to happen.
Chalmers. He was just a little bit low there. Trinex is actually, I'm pretty sure it's the only boss where the art will always spawn in the center of the room as opposed to wherever the boss ends up dying. So unfortunately, Chalmers was just a little bit too low there to actually pick it up. So lost a little bit of time waiting on that. But
we've all been there on these runs where it's just like,
100%, yeah. All right, Node has exactly 18 arrows here, so one potential thing that can go wrong here, not like we're wishing it on him or anything, but if he does end up whiffing one of these arrows, doesn't look like he's going to do that, but that fight can definitely really go off the rails quickly and turn into a circus before you know it.
I hit one early last night where I shot up and I just saw it sticking in the armor, so he didn't take damage. I was like, well, this is going to go very poorly. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those fights that, like, you're not going to use 1 extra arrow, you're going to use, like, 6 extra arrows. Because you either do it right, like, generally the wasted arrow is the 19th, you shoot an extra one. But if you don't have a 19th, like, you can't shoot that one, so... I don't actually even know if it's probably something I should probably fix, because I've been at 18. I've been a little nervous, but like, yeah, like 18 is the same as 19. Honestly, it's the same as 20. It's not until you get to like 25 where you can deal for red armor or something that's gonna matter.
Right.
I'm picking up that first key, which is a fairly rare key to get in NMG, at least at the sub 29 level.
Hey.
Wait, do you get that key?
Hell yeah, I get that key.
Okay.
I'm gonna get that key all the way to 124.
I don't know why I'm surprised.
But yeah, it's just super consistent and safe, and it only costs 1 second. People like to say, it's the slowest key, and that's technically correct. I can't argue that, but it's 1 second, dude. It's not going to be what cost you from getting a PB or even a decent segment time or anything like that.
My main thing is getting the magic just feels gross. Like, I don't know, there's not like a good way to just get the magic, or at least I don't know it, so I just don't even bother. But I mean, my chest room key has gone south plenty of times, so.
Ooh, that was a really nice Lambo fight there from caznode. Kind of got some weird-ish RNG, definitely not like terrible RNG or anything like that, but did some over-under shots there.
Got a good question in chat, Ham, that I need you to address.
Hey, Emo, I do walk to get it.
You have to dash to hit the key off.
Yeah, but that's immaterial, okay?
I'm just shocked your A button works, okay?
I don't even dash after I collect the key, though. I just walk to the door. It's pretty much the same time. Yeah.
Wow.
It's like 1 frame or something. Ooh, okay, so as we were discussing a little bit earlier, this is where the Ice Armos fight can kind of go off the rails.
Yeah, I mean, we went out of the arrows there. It's unfortunate. I mean, at this point, like, when you're running against a 124 runner, you have to have a great run to be in it. And once your run starts going downhill, you just, and I think Chalmers is definitely one of those kind of people. He's just gonna have fun with it at this point.
All right, it's happening. Caznode missed the bomb here on the bottom of a wall, while Chalmers got a chest turn on the Terranero chest after the big key. So this,
well, it's all over
this is
now.
where the comeback starts.
Yeah.
Yeah. One very, very minor thing, I guess, to note as a result of that, Caznode does have 2 extra bombs here, so hopefully he remembers he does have those bombs in his inventory when he goes to menu on the Ganon fight. I've seen a number of runners try to get to the torch glitch using the bombs, and I hate to break it to you, it doesn't work very well. Oh, okay, having a little bit of party here in this mini Helma hallway, but
Shout out to Thwayne. Chalmers gets the up slash. Yeah,
he loves that strat. He's a big fan
do
of
not
it.
understand that strat. Like I've
Same.
sat there and practiced it, and I'm just like, he just jumps. Like, what do you do? I've tried going early, I've tried going late. It's just like,
I'm really bad at it, and I still opt for the pot throw, but you see a lot of top runners opting for that slash strat, and
yeah, it's definitely
definitely a fan of it.
It's definitely the best strat to go for. It's just like I just do not understand it. It just seems impossibly tight, and I just do not understand what I'm doing. And every time I ask people, just slash him up forehead. Like, okay, do it with the right timing.
It looked like a pretty decent Agatu fight there from Node. I think it was a 3 cycle. Yeah, wins up slash tutorial, y'all.
Josh's up slash tutorial is just saying, "Oh, you have a 126, you shouldn't go for it," and then he just walks away.
All right, Caznode in the Ganon fight here. I really enjoy this as a final boss fight. You don't get this kind of difficulty level necessarily in a lot of final boss fights, but Ganon can show there's definitely a lot of skill expression that can happen in this fight. Everyone does it a little bit differently, but obviously the goal here is getting that one-on-one as Caznode did there. And one thing you really start to see a difference in between runners is in their phase 4 execution and just how many triples they can get, because you have to handle each one a little bit differently based on where Ganon is teleporting to. So Caznode does get the torch glitch there. Fortunately, misses that first spin.
Noted SM runner Greenham complaining about underwhelming final boss fights. Ridley is the final boss of SM. That is the way it is.
Agreed. Agreed.
Unless he's the second boss, then he's not. Or the first boss.
Alright, so Node getting a healthy amount of triples here. And yeah, I really enjoy phase 4 of this fight. It feels really nice when you execute it well, and Caznode definitely did right there. The pig is dead, and Caznode well on his way to a win here.
He could fall down 3 times. Oh, no, never mind.
GG, no.
Whoa,
125.
that triple spin on Chalmers' side. Holy hell. That was insane. Did you see that?
I saw the very tail end of it.
Yeah, he did a spin, a diagonal spin into a triple shot. That's crazy.
Nuts. Good stuff. You love to see it. So yeah, Caznode finishing up with a 125.46. Excellent tourney run. Very, very impressive time. Finished plus 55 on his PB, but really, really solid run all the way throughout. Oh, Chalmers getting hit by the trident there. I don't think he's going to be able to get the 1-on-1 here, unfortunately, as a result. Will be sitting on 2.5 hearts, but does get some favorable RNG here. getting Ganon in the top left corner so he can just do a couple double spins, hookshot his way out using those iframes. And as long as he's got his dancing shoes on, he'll be able to get to the next phase at least. Holy shit. Putting on the moves.
Yeah, 25:45 is a great tournament time. This is really, really good. That's second over my PB, so I'm gonna cry now. I mean, honestly, he was on pace for much better. That 30 seconds he lost on Ganon's Tower was basically just from that one the bomb room, which can go south pretty easily.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, at that point, like, he was out of PB contention. He had the race pretty much on lock, so not a big deal.
Yep. Chalmers finishing up with the Ganon fight here. Did have to do the old double tap to get the torch glitch, but that's one of those things that you'll see a lot of runners doing because they don't trust the torch glitch, and sometimes it's very, very easy to get your input eaten there. So as long as you're double tapping it, you should be fine to get it most of the time. And there we go. Last hit on Ganon. Chalmers, wow. I'm gonna take the cotton balls out of my mouth and try that again. Chalmers finishing up his run with a 128. It's like a 128.36 on his splits, and race time does confirm that result. So honestly, still with all the stuff that happened in Chalmers' run there, mid 128 is still a great time. So GG's to Chalmers as well.
Yeah, I mean, it really was just the big mistakes. That was the bulk of that. Was, like I said, both of them were about plus 20 around that Ice Palace, and then all went downhill from Chalmers, who is now joining us with Kaz. How's it going?
Hello.
Yo, how you doing?
GG's, gamers.
Chalmers, you broke now?
Am I broke? What?
From all those nickels and dimes you were spending.
I wasn't spending them. I was asking for them.
you needed a couple extra, apparently.
I need about 250.
I am once again asking for your nickels and dimes.
So I wasn't watching the restream at all. Can somebody illuminate me on what went down?
Ice Palace bomb jump. And,
oh no.
Actually, just Ice Palace. Let me wheel that back. Just Ice Palace.
Mostly the entirety of that, yeah.
Yes.
I had an adventure in Double Stalfos, and then had an adventure in Ice Palace bomb jump, and then I mean, God, those ice blocks were so close to hitting you, Chalmers. I was like,
oh, I was fully clenched.
I could feel your clench through the screen. Like,
we're making diamonds over here.
Did you have to mirror, or was it just
no? I had a bad bombable floor room, which led into an even worse Master Stalfos room for some reason. Then my conveyor was slow, and then I fire rotted instead of placing a bomb in Ice Palace bomb jump. And then I just wasn't aligned, fell in the hole, had to do it again.
Not as good as the Link Samaria block for Ice Palace bomb jump, but was still amazing.
Classic.
He's got some tech.
That was hilarious. But speaking of needing to mirroring out, with the roller room in Turtle Rock.
Yeah.
I was saying, like, the second that room goes wrong, like, it's 5 seconds to mirror, and like, you're probably gonna spend 5 seconds trying to get out of there anyways. Just punt. Like, it's just time to punt, honestly.
It would have been faster to mirror, sure, over dying, but yeah, it's been a long time since I've actually like died. I'll take an extra hit in that room and I'll walk it off, but I thought it was smart to dash again, and I was like, oh, whoops.
Yeah, it was really the last one that really cost you. I mean, you still have the fairy, of course, even if you take the extra hit, but yeah, I mean, Kaz pretty much led wire to wire. I was saying, like, around Ice Palace, you're both like right around plus 20 seconds on your PBs, so it was just like you're playing pretty much relative to each other. And then like Kaz, we were saying, like, your Dark World is really good in your PB, and you were keeping up with it for the entire thing. So yeah, this would have been I mean, obviously, Chalmers have needed to PB by a good bit to win this one. So Kaz takes it down with mostly just off the back of a really great Dark World.
So before I go back and rewatch it to figure it out for myself, does anybody know what my Ganon split time was? Because I got 0 warps. So that might have been weird.
No, we weren't watching.
Damn.
Sorry, I'm not keeping track of your splits for you guys. I didn't know that was my job.
I think you only missed that one spin, I think, at the start, right?
Yeah.
Do you split on landing or back crash? Because we saw you had a 7 flat GT, which was kind of impressive. I mean, it's impressive either way. I'm just wondering how impressive it is.
I split on back crash, so it's good, but it's not.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Because getting a sub 7 GT there's only a handful of people who have those. So I was thinking it was probably more. But yes, I mean, running against the gold GT is always a bit oof.
Yep, I get to gain time on 4 blue balls, and I get to lose it on Ganon's Tower. So, it's just how it is.
Yeah, it'd be like that.
It do be like that. Chalmers, I wanted to ask you about your magical spelunking adventure there. Did you find any cool rocks in that cave, or what?
Yes, I did. I found 1 rock in that cave, and it was a dead rock, and I had to.
And we're done, folks.
Honestly, I hit the thing up, and then I was like, "Oh, I don't think I'm getting past that, so I'll just keep going into the fucking cave."
It was like so impressive that you had the wherewithal to like hookshot that, and I was like, "Oh, this is really." And then we just broke up laughing because it was
good. If I could provide anything during this hour and a half, I'm glad it was that.
I did want to shout out though, and I think unfortunately we both missed it as we were paying attention to Caznode stream at the time. But you apparently had a pretty hot Waffle House drive-through there with the triple hook that we were informed of by chat.
Miss that? Lanxion. So shout out to Lanxion.
That's why we know about it.
Number one Chalmers fan. Yeah, there was. I mean, you definitely had some moments of really great gameplay, and it was a really entertaining race to watch. So
that was the goal. I mean, I wish I didn't have any like Ice Palace fiascos or anything dumb like that to keep it a little bit closer, because like this race went out how I expected it, which is why I bet on Node in the predictions.
Good bet.
Because like Node's been playing really consistent, as well as I think I've been playing. Node's still better than me, and as long as he played within reason, this race was his. So I was just trying to have some fun with it, and I handled the bad stuff as good as I could. I'm just happy I didn't die to Gold Stare, to be honest, because that was a little
Yeah,
even that you were a little slow getting up too, and I really thought you were going to get hit by the first ice block, much less the second one.
It tickled the beehole there. So
yeah, the ice block came down. I'm like, oh well, he's dead. He's just dead. So GG's everyone, and it just like barely missed. I was like, oh my god, like what the hell is happening?
I wanted to make. I honestly should have died there just to make you watch me play this game for a little bit longer.
I should have died in Escape.
Oh no!
Yeah. You guys both had an escape. Like, I mean, it was a 55 versus a 58, so it ended up not being too bad. And then, I mean, I just realized your Eastern is a 56 after a 55 escape, so that was a really good Eastern for Caznode.
Yeah, holy hell!
Yeah, definitely some excitement on both times. Chalmers, yeah, it's really tough to, after those sort of mistakes start happening, to kind of put the wheels back on the cart as you're still, rolling down the hill. But I think you did a pretty admirable job of that, and coming back and still finishing out with a mid 128. And obviously your tournament is not over here, as this was a winner's bracket match. So you will be going down into the bottom part of the bracket. You will be playing the winner of Scoopel versus Shiva Hayes. So how you feeling about your chances there?
Honestly, if I play like I've been playing, I mean, even with all the bullshit that's happened in this run, most of my tournament matches have been mid 127s to like mid 128s, maybe a high 128. If I can play like that, I think I'll do okay. Granted, anything can happen, but I'm pretty confident.
Yeah, definitely. I got faith in you. But yeah, GG's to you. Node, as the winner of this match, you're going to be going on to face another 124 runner, I'm pretty sure, Oase. How you feeling about that matchup?
Well, I've beaten him once this tournament already, but I was kind of bailed out by blue balls on that one, so I'm just hoping I can pull together another decent run, and I'm hoping that'll be enough. It should be, but you know,
That should be
of course, at that level, it could go either way.
I think that'll be a good one because Awase is known for his light worlds, and your dark world is pretty strong in your PB. So that there could be a lot of back and forth in that one. So that should be a really exciting one to watch.
Yeah, I don't think Oase has really been playing much recently. So I think Node, you've definitely been putting a little bit more time into this game. So I think you'll definitely be the fresher of the two. But yeah, we'll just have to see how she goes.
Bet on Dark World. I mean, Awase is a 124. He's like his Dark World's bad.
Right.
But Awase's been putting up like insane light worlds since like he was putting up 123 light worlds when he was a 128 runner. Like his light worlds are just disgusting.
All right. Well, I think that is going to do it for us. GG's to both our runners here, Chalmers Node. Enjoy the rest of your days. Thanks for putting on a great show for us. Duck, it was a lot of fun doing comms with you.
Yeah, same. It was a lot of fun doing comms with me.
Quote.
Fucking Duck.
Book it.
That's the first time I've heard that one. All right, so we've got a match coming up on this channel in 19 minutes. It will be Blue Sentio versus Korek. So everyone stick around. I'll just probably pop a host on here and let the other restreamers set that one up. But yeah, if you guys stick around, there's more Link to the Past coming. So thanks so much, everyone.